101. My shift generally, well, always is weekday mornings from 7 to 10, so I'm generally sleepy all the time. I am delighted to be here to talk about music of tomorrow. That's being written today for tomorrow, and I am delighted to welcome our special guest who just flew in from Kyiv, Alla
Zagaykevych.
Zagaykevych. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Christopher. Thank you.
So this is my first time working with the Now Music Festival, but of course I've been aware of them for many years. It is a week-long, as many of you know, festival at Capital University and features music, some of which is written by some of you, presumably. When we go to concerts and we listen to Beethoven and Mozart and Bach and Schubert, we listen to the great music of yesterday, which reminds us why we're here today. But none of those composers wanted music to stop with them. They wanted it to continue in a continuum, and festivals like this make sure that it does. So, Alla, I'm delighted that you're here to be a composer of today and tomorrow with us. The first thing I have to ask you, since you just flew in from Ukraine, is how is life in Ukraine now?
Thank you so much to possibility to meet this fantastic auditorium there. Thank you for this context of to make focus in Ukrainian music in time of war and life now in Kyiv. You know, I decided that in the start of this war, I decided that I want to live in Kyiv. I want to be with my people, with my colleague, with my student, with my little children of school, Lysenko Special Music School. And until now, I'm in Kyiv. I have a possibility to work with a lot of musicians, with my colleague. So life in Kyiv in the level of artistic organization of artistic life, for example, it's like look normal. We have all theater of Kyiv works now, like Ivan Franko, Dramatic Theater, National Dramatic Theater, or Lesya Ukrainka Dramatic Theater, or Opera House in Kyiv, Philharmonie, all these big institutions work like normally, but we need to organize all event with possibility to go in shelter each time if you have siren. So it's defense of attack. And tonight, for example, it was attack of Shahed or something other, missile. So organization of life now, we need to be very modest, each time we need to be very correct with children, and so if you have some sound of siren, it's like we need to go very quickly in the shelter with all children, students, public in the theater. So in the shelter, for example, in Philharmonie, we have a lot of improvisation session of musicians, because musicians go in the shelter with musical instrument, and or we can make some improvising little concert. So it's my decision and my possibility to keep normal life, like artist, like musician, like professor of music composition. And if you, for example, in Kharkiv, it's other situation, it's absolutely not possible to organize any public event now in Kharkiv, because it's very close to the frontier border with Russia, so it's all time. We have very bad news about a lot of people died each day. So student of, for example, Music Academy in Kharkiv, it's University, Kotlarevsky University and the Conservatorium, Academic Music Academy in Kharkiv, work just online in distance. Also in Kharkiv we have some shelter like Yermilov Center. Yermilov Center, for example, has a big space with the possibility to make exposition of Ukrainian contemporary painter or media art. So it's good possibility to keep some artistic space, but each day in Yermilov Center we have some very interesting event, musical, theater, media art, electronic music, so a lot of things. So it's our life now.
A bit related to that, just before we move on to music specifically, you as a creative artist, is creativity today in Ukraine in a time of war still valued? Is it more valued? Is it harder to do?
I don't understand very good this question. Yes, I'm sorry for some question like this. Type of creativity and musical composition, it depends on position of artist. For example, in the start of war, a lot of composers started make music like, for example, lullaby. It's like genre, very nostalgic and with very deep distance between aggression of war and the mentality of contemporary life. So the composer like Victoria Poleva, for example, or Sviatoslav Lunyov, continue to make music with some influence of music of like minimalistic, postmodern line like Arvo Pärt directions or Cancelli, like post-romantic, postmodern lines. It's very creative also. It's type of reflection, artistic reflection with very big, deep distinction between war and artistic mentality. But I like very much also some more active reflection of musicians. Like we have a group of composers, Opera Operta, to young composer, my student Roman Grigoriev and Ilya Rozumeyko, prepared a piece Lullaby for Mariupol with utilization of very noisy music with Ukrainian archetypic instrument cymbalum. Also we use bandura with arco with bow. This composer produced music very intensive,
yes,
very contemporary in the level of timbre. And the Lullaby for Mariupol, it's like 1 hour of very intensive noise with color of Ukrainian folklore instrument, but with this instrument use it in authentic tradition, folklore Ukrainian tradition, but in tradition to make something very intensive with very intensive Ukrainian timbre, folklore, intensive Ukrainian folklore timbre and electronic transformation. So I like very much this idea to make some resistance and with avant-garde Ukrainian things. And also I like very much a type of creativity like masculine music. My colleague of electroacoustic community, Georgi Potopalsky, for example, prepared piece, it's not piece, album, hypogonadism. Hypogonadism, it's medical terminology about problem with masculine hormone. So it's this motto, Putin, I'm sorry. So it's like this idea to make music, it's normal music during war. I know that in the period of Second War was a lot of songs like this, but about Hitler. Hitler have one something. Yes. It's this tradition. Tradition to make humoristic and strange humor, strange music, and it's also some idea to keep energy, to keep normality, something like we can make normal life and be very strong with music like this, and so.
I always think it happened to me, and I hope it happened to each of you. If you remember when you were first exposed to one or any of the arts that you grew to love, if you remember a time when the light got turned on, if you're lucky, you remember that. So my question to you is, at what point maybe in your childhood did you know that music would be something very special for you? And what were your first instruments or your very first training when you were a child?
I'm not from a family of musicians, so I started to make music like for girl. It's for little girl. It's a very good solution to organize time after school, go to play piano. And so for me, in the beginning, it's like organization of life. So in each family, we have some activity or sport activity or artistic activity. And I started also make painter because my father was painter. So in our house, I was a lot of Molbert, some scene, a lot of things for painter, but also piano. But I decided to be composer in a period of my study in music college. It's department of musicology. I was musicologist, and for me it was surprising that in my college, it's Rivne, it's a little city near Lviv, that we have professor of composition. It was Lysenko Dnistrovsky. This composer worked a lot with folklore instrument, organology, like orchestra of folklore instrument. So it's not symphonic orchestra, but orchestra with bandura, dombra. So it's a little bit artificial, effective, because this in the folklore society, in the folklore tradition, we don't have big orchestra. We have little ensemble. For example, ensemble with cymbalum, violin, all violin and some type of flute, troisti muziki in the west of Ukraine, yes, in the region of Karpaty or region of Polisia. But so I started.
So, I'd like to talk a little bit more about electronic music. which is something I don't know very much about, but I do know the term musique concrète. And I wonder if that's appropriate for you, and if you could explain what that is and how that reflects on your own composition.
My start in electronic music, it was because I decided to go in Paris, in IRCAM Institute, with some special direction. It's not contemporary musique concrète. It's other direction, also French, big French school of electronic music, like electroacoustic music for instrument and transformation with computer. And big French composer Pierre Boulez organized that institution of coordination and research of music and acoustic in the center of Pompidou Center. And the object of this institution is collaboration between normal composer like me and music technology, information music technology. So this type of institution, it's like organization, this collaboration. And for me, it was fantastic music. First time I listened to spectral music, like music of Hugues Dufour, or Tristan Murail, or Kaya Sariao. And it's like, for me, evolution of contemporary sonoristic tradition. And it's something very flexible, very open for each composer. If composer make contemporary chamber music with symphony orchestra, with chamber orchestra, so you can make a microphone and make connection between microphone and computer. You have some possibility to change the sonority, sonorization of each instrument. Little transformation like reverberation or ring modulation or some filter, and so it's change absolutely in our world. It's change acoustic, change specialization, and I like very much this idea to help the composer to develop, to continue, to make a possibility to change music. So we don't have this limit. We don't have limit like limit in postmodern ideas that music all time continues the same genre, the same sonority. And Pierre Boulez decided to make this organization, this institution, IRCAM, to do not have some limit in the horizon. Our horizon is open.
I had a professor in college many years ago who insisted and told us that if we were to regard 12-tone music, for example, as being atonal or difficult, that was quite wrong, that there were many attuned in Webern and Schoenberg and Berg and people came after them, but one had to maybe listen to in a different way. Sometimes I think that today we are listening, one has to adjust to listen to Beethoven, which somebody my age probably didn't do because that's how we were raised in music. But now the possibilities, particularly with technology, are more available and more advanced. I have a comment and a question. In the 1920s, there was a wonderful American composer called George Antheil who wrote a symphony for airplane propellers that was performed at Carnegie Hall. And it had quite a following, and he had quite a career. And he was using not musical instruments. He was using machinery. He was using what kind of machinery he had at his disposal literally 100 years ago. Is that would that have been the beginning of what you're talking about now, that kind of composition, where you're looking at maybe machinery or technology to create the sound world? Is that fair?
I like this idea to make music not just with traditional instruments.
Right.
I like very much this idea because for electroacoustic music, for example, it's possibility to invite in this society, in this community, people without traditional education, traditional education досвід, як це сказати? Yes, with yes, and for example, technology to produce some noise material or to produce some electroacoustic sound design worlds, like technology for film music, technology for sound art. So it's possibility to make a new genre of music. So if we can imagine start of electroacoustic music in the 20th century, it was like a normal composer prepare electroacoustic music. But now we have also sound artists. It's a little bit other type of artist. Very often it's artists go from visual art and intermedia technology or education in plastic art academy. And now it's possibility also to make music or sound art. It's not composition, it's sound art. It's absolutely other type to organize to organize this creative activity. And for me, it's very interesting because we have influence and some new collaboration between artist, composer, and sound artist, electroacoustic, electronic musician, programmer. So I like that this society of musicians, each time we have new function, we have new community, new communication. It's very interesting. Also, big tradition to make a new organology, new musical instrument with some electric things, but also some contact microphone or a lot of use. Each object can produce music. Like John Cage talked that each object in our planet Earth produce some vibration, so it's produce music. And I think for this experience for us, it's like artistic experience. And for me, it's absolutely fantastic. Yes.
What about, in terms of advanced technology, at least what's on everybody's lips right now is AI, artificial intelligence. Is that something that's germane or relevant to what you're talking about, this new artificial intelligence, or not so new really, but it's getting more and more usage?
Of course, yes. Artificial intelligence in music we have in the start of 50 years, because the first software for make algorithmic composition in USA, for example, it was Illinois suite of Ledger and Hiller. I think it was the prepared first software for make algorithm music. It was something with artificial intelligence. So each algorithm realize it in the software for produce some algorithmic composition. It was the result of research in the artificial intelligence. Also, sound synthesis is the same. the first software for produce sound. It was also this type of artificial intelligence. But from now, if we have little application in our mobile phone with artificial intelligence, yes, it's other experience, it's other possibility. And for example, last year, my student in Kyiv Music Academy prepared a score for symphony orchestra with some algorithm of artificial intelligence. And for me, it was like surprise that for this composer idea to organize something. It's like you work with the symphony orchestra, but it's symphony orchestra not real, but virtual symphonic orchestra. I think it's not possible that some computer make music. Yes, it's possible, but for me, very interesting, for example, have observe difference between Xenakis with algorithmic composition. Leonid Grabovsky, Ukrainian composer, this composer use all time like algorithmic composition. So Xenakis, it's like very expansive, aggressive, very interesting constructive music, French style. Ukrainian, Leonid Grabovsky with Concerto Misterioso, for example, and algorithmic composition and artificial intelligence, but with Ukrainian specific material. And my student, Andriy Barsov, also Ukrainian composer, worked with a change of MIDI file to normal music notation with between shifter. And so it's 3 different type of thinking, 3 different experience, 3 different texture, music. So it's not computer, it's not artificial intelligence algorithm, but it's each composer with heart, with idea, with mentality, with reflections. It's clear that Xenakis is Xenakis, Grabovsky, Barsov is Barsov. It's very clear.
I want to play a clip of some of your work. This is Mame. Could you talk a bit what we're going to see in here?
Yes. I decided to choose a fragment of film Mamai. Mamai. It's a word from Tatar culture. It's a fragment of film with my music. And there it's little electroacoustic performance with a fragment of Ukrainian folklore, singing, and electronic.
Çıkarınız o hastalığın içinde. Çıkarınız hastalığın içinde.
You work a good bit in film, don't you? Yes.
So this fragment from first big film with great director of film Oleg Sanin. This year Oleg Sanin prepared film Dolbush. I worked with this film Dolbush. Mamai. It's idea in this film to make a Ukrainian film, but with material of Tatar folklore, Tatar legend. In this fragment, it was some ritual, medical ritual, or also lullaby for some Ukrainian Cossack. It was this girl found it in the steppe, some body, and we need to make this body alive again. And the girl started to sing a Tatar folklore song, but it's Ukrainian Cossack, and Ukrainian Cossack listen to Ukrainian song. So it's a dialogue of culture, of Tatar culture and Ukrainian culture. For me, it's a very big pleasure to work with this folklore material, and so it's like imaginary dialogue of Tatar and Ukrainian culture. But yes, I work a lot with Oleg Sanin, and mostly direction of this film director. It's cinema, film with folklore lines like Mamai, Povodir, or Guide, and last film Dolbush. It's all time. It's some very special period of Ukrainian history, contemporary history, or some legend, folklore, some this compendium of actual for Ukrainian culture context.
I want to save some time for questions. I'm sure people will have questions. I just want to remind everybody that Alla's music is being performed Thursday night and Tuesday and Thursday, 2 concerts at the Now Music Festival on the campus of Capital University. I'm speaking to the choir here, literally, I know, but I figured I'd say it anyway. We also have music by our host, Dina Lenster, being performed at the festival next week, and probably by some of you. So all kinds of marvelous reasons. Put your hand up if your music is being played or if you're performing. Good for you. Wonderful. Yes. Excellent. Your parents are thrilled. That's what. No, they are. That's terrific. Oh, all right. So I'd like to be able to have people ask questions to Alla about making a life in music, making a life in electronic music, or new music, or musique concrète, or music of tomorrow. And to do that, I have to shut up and ask if there are questions.
And if you could just wait for me to give you the mic. There we have 5 people online watching
Oh,
too.
you're going to be like Oprah.
They want to
Yeah,
hear
yeah,
us.
that's good.
Okay, here you go.
I just wanted to say thank you for taking the time to come here first and foremost, because obviously we can't learn about your music or any Ukrainian culture without you coming here first. But I wanted to ask, do you prefer to watch the film and then write the music, or do you prefer to like kind of play with sound and then put it to a video?
It's depend of project, but it's for me it's like very different work. So what is interesting for each composer to work in film with video? It's not just video, but it's collaboration with director, with cameraman. And it's like idea to be member of, member of like some community and make. I'm feeling like performer, not composer. If I work in film, I'm just performer because I need to make absolutely new music, very different. With in my music without video, I'm more free, of course, but it's my usual style, my usual life, my usual musical language. But in film music, it's like second life, and like very much this idea to collaboration.
Alla, what is your favorite computer dance music?
Dance music. You know, for me, dance music, it's not electronic computer music. In my generation, for example, for me, the best dance music, it's, I don't know, Pat Metheny or funk music, or jazz rock music. I like very much jazz rock. But if you talk about electronic music, for example, not classical. For me, electronic music. It's Ukrainian people. I like music of Georgy Potoparsky, or Yodjiv Not Found. It's experimental. It's not classical. Experimental music. So for me, it's the best electronic contemporary music, not classical, not composer. It's sound artist. It's Yudjiv Not Found. I like very much.
Hi. How important is it for you to use instruments and traditions that are specifically Ukrainian? We watched one of your films Thursday night. Yeah, and I noticed that obviously because it's about shepherding and deep Ukrainian culture, you used a lot of the instruments. However, from what you're talking about and discussing, you love to use those in all of your music, and from what I've looked at, you do. So where does that come from? Does that come from a respect or a duty to your country, or is that where does that originate from?
Thank you.
In the film, it's Żywa Watra. In this film, it was filmed in this very special local tradition of Karpat, for example. And I participated in this expedition, folklore expedition, to make recording of the instrument. Especially, I like very much technology of to use impulse reverberation or convolution with little sample of instrument. So if we have some instrument like sopilka, it's flute, traditional flute, or floyara, it's also traditional flute. If in the question of technology, for example, if I use in software like Super Collider software or other use this sample of sopilka, floyara, or trembita. It's also instrument like not trombone, but like this direction, or didgeridoo, Ukrainian didgeridoo. It's trembita, and I have a very big, very deep texture of electronic sound, contemporary, but with color of Ukrainian sound. So in the start of this film, it's a lot of this type of impulse reverberation, but it's very usual type to work with technology in the film music with impulse reverberation. And so it's we have this color of Ukrainian sound. So it's you can start and to try to work with this.
It's been about 2 years since Russia invaded. Can you just talk about what your day-to-day was like right before, and then what your day-to-day like has changed over the last 2 years?
The first things that I started to think that Ukraine can be disparate, зникнути, як сказати, зникнути англійською мовою. Исчезнуть, Dina. Yes. All time we have, each Ukrainian now we have a feeling that Ukraine can disappear. So in our history, Ukraine was independent very little period of time. So our culture, so beautiful. We have so beautiful music, we have so beautiful venture, so beautiful literature, but music a lot. And all the time, Ukrainian people was in some political context with, for example, in the West, it was Romanian, Austro-Hongrois imperial. So also it was some period of in the region of Polisia, near Belarus, it was influence of Lithuanian culture, Polish culture, Lithuanian culture, and but period of the Soviet Union with very strange, also imperialistic, colonial dependence of Russia imperialism, or Sovietic culture. And each time for Ukrainian, it was normal situation that we have in the permanent war, permanent resistance, permanent resistance with Polish, Poland culture, Lithuanian, Russia. So it's like normal life. So for me, it's very. I need to have Ukraine. I need to have Ukraine. I need to listen to Ukrainian language, not Russian language in my city. It's for me, it's like torture if I go in Kyiv Conservatory I listen to Russian language. It's not normal. It's not normal because with this language, our children was killed. Russia people killed Ukrainian poet, Ukrainian journalist, Victoria Amelina, Ukrainian journalist, and Ukrainian very big poet, was killed with International Organization of Journalists in Kramatorsk. It's stupid. And so it's a stupid situation. It's when I was children in school, and I never listened to that Soviet Union. It was like colonial aggressive culture. It was like our part of our life. So, but if I started to learn Ukrainian history it was clear that in the beginning of 20th century, big culture, Ukrainian culture was killed, like Ukrainian futurist. I was a student, I prepared symphony with futuristic language of Vladimir Mayakovsky. Good, but never for me now it's a surprise. I was children in Ukrainian futurist. It's not in my horizon. The first time name of Mikhail Semenko, Ukrainian futurist, I listened to in the period independence, because if I was children, for me just I have this yes, very good Russia futurist culture, but where is Ukrainian futurist culture? No, because Semenko was killed. Semenko was killed. It's very simple situation. And also like a lot of Ukrainian artists like Les Kurbas, Valerian Підмогильний, Mike Johansen. You know this period of Stalin regime. Yes, it's open historic documents in the Gulag, archipelago Gulag, most national list of people killed of regime of Stalin. It's Ukrainian people. A lot of Gruzian, of course, of Lithuanian, but Ukrainian is the big part. And we have very beautiful notion of killed resistance, Renaissance, Ukrainian killed Renaissance. But it's very beautiful, but we don't have this, we don't have tradition. Each time we need to restart our culture, go to Semenko, go to Kurbas. So I like very much big French culture. If each period of French culture, we can be some line from 18th century, from Rameau to Boulez. For me, it's not work because composer Leontovich was killed. For example, it's very good idea to have some line from Leontovich to Latoshinsky, to Silvestrov, to Barsov. But Leontovich was killed. And Semenko was killed. So this now is the same situation. And now it's very dangerous situation because again, Ukraine again can disappear. Yes, I'm sorry.
To ask you a more simple question, what do you hope the students here at Capital can learn and take away from your time here?
Yes. When I was student, and when for example, in my experience, it was like a situation like this situation. So, for example, Valentin Silvestrov talked with student about music or something about life. I'm not sure that the professor can have some influence to student. So it's not possible to imagine that you can make music like a Ukrainian composer or make music like me. I think each student need to make absolutely individual work, and but if you have some example of other composers, other life, I think it's good to use other composer, other professor of other culture, just like some зеркало, some mirror. Again, one mirror. It's good idea to even you can ask your friend, what do you think about my music? It's also very good. So you can ask me or Dina or Christopher, what do you think about this idea? So this mirror, it's good. So just I want, I can be this little mirror, not. So this mirror with other experience. I have in my experience some books. It's not your books. It's books of Semenko on the other culture. So it's good if you have some study to have some mirror, different mirror.
So basically, like, look at your music through music of others, right? Like.
We'll have one more question, and then I have one, and then.
Okay, I have a question about your work. I teach political science, so it's a little political. I see a lot of little d democracy in what you were saying about the multimedia projects that you have. And so I'm interested in leading and following. Is there a first draft in what you do, or do you start your films with conversations among collaborators who have a common passion or message or problem or issue or any of that? So for instance, when I teach American political science, the Declaration of Independence is very important, but Thomas Jefferson is not the author. He wrote the first draft, and then there were thousands of edits, thousands. So I'm sort of thinking that that's a little bit what you're getting at. So if you take the film we saw, did it start with who wrote the first, was there a first draft, or was it totally collaborative?
Totally collaborative. I think for special work in the film, it's, or you can imagine that film director, we realize it all time idea of film director. So it's like one idea is this idea, we need possibility to recognize the same idea in the level of scenario, level of make film with cameraman, and post-production. And each period, we have possibility to keep the same idea or change this idea, but recognize So is a recognition some language. We need to make an ensemble of element of language, different element of language in the each study each etap of work. And of course, in this film, for example, Mama, I was very free in the level of composition because this some polyphonic also polyphonic space in the organization of cadre in this my film. We have some polyphonic possibility and some fluid change. It's not very constructive element of video, and so I was like free. But I was also scenario in my music. Of course, I was some technical, absolutely real technical technical task to have dialogue, virtual dialogue. It's the first. Second, to make some feeling, some emotion, some dramatic line with the different type of sound. But yes, it was very deep questions about work in the collaborative project. What is the possibility to recognize, to keep the same idea? Yes, it's very important things. Thank you.
Susanna, I think you were asking about this idea of the dialogue between different cultures, right? So there is a political aspect of it, like Tatars and Ukrainians, and we know that like Tatars of Crimea, right now it's went back to Russia, like they are occupied.
But it was film was 2003. It's 2003. Yes. Yes.
I get the last question. First of all, thank you very much for being here and for sharing with us. And it's going to be a great week of concerts. Don't miss them. Do you have hope?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course, I have hope. And if I work with my Ukrainian colleague and some instrumentalist, in this collaboration, we can keep hope, we can keep resistance, we can keep our language, our mental things very important for us, for our culture, of course.
Thank you, and thank you all. Thank you.